What is happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. Hope you are all doing wonderful today. We are heading over to CES Motorsport. It's been a minute since we've been out there. You guys might remember the white A90 Supra with the blue BC forged wheels. My friend Denny, he's been on the channel a couple of times with a few different cars, but today he's actually taking delivery of his car after doing the pure turbo and the Valvetronic exhaust system. So we are heading to CES to basically capture that. Honestly, just one of the best options for this car. Pure Turbos really knows what they're doing when they're making their turbo setups for the A90 Supra. He went with the PURE800, which is just spicy enough for these cars. I do know that he is running a relatively conservative pump gas tune, so he's not trying to get like high horsepower numbers or anything. He's just trying to have a good, reliable, daily driving Supra with a pure turbo on it, kind of like where I'm going. So it should be a good one. We got some other things I got to film for other projects out at CES, so got my work cut out for me today. In terms of my car, I got a few other things that showed up yesterday in the mail. Gonna be doing some installs for you guys. Things are getting good. Things are getting really good with the Supra. Anyways, let's hop on the freeway. I'll see you guys at CES. We are pulling up to CES right now. I'll see you guys inside. What is happening, guys? We are back here at CES Motorsport in Monroe County, Charlotte, North Carolina. We've got the Supra squad out here. We've got Mr. Denny Prime on the dyno. This is going to be one of the last pulls that we're doing of the car. We've actually done a bunch of pulls and a bunch of different revisions under MHD tuning with his Supra. He's now running the PURE800 turbo. He's got the full Valvetronic exhaust system with custom tips. I'm going to show you guys. It looks so good. And in the future, it sounds like he's going to be doing a meth setup. The car is running a 93 pump gas tune. He daily drives this car, so we wanted something safe, reliable, but good power. We're also going to go for the first drive with Denny in his car. He hasn't driven the car. He hasn't seen the car in a little while because we've been testing it, dyno testing, and making sure that the tune was just right for the street. So let's hop in there. We're gonna do a little dyno pull for you guys, show you what we're making. And we have a couple of other graphs to show you the differences from, you know, stock to intake to exhaust to downpipe to tune to now PURE800. So you can really see the evolution of power going on in the power graphs. Let's head in. All right, so here's Denny's car. Look at these tips, man. Burnt blue Valvetronic tips. Nice and fresh, brand new. As you guys know, I have the gold. He has the silver. Freaking beautiful on this car. You know, he's got the carbon, white, and blue theme going on. Really, really awesome. We do have some footage from when we did the install of the PURE800 on this car. There is the PURE800 down there. And of course, we've got the BMS intake that he's running. He's running the same charge pipe as me, FTP. And then he has the CES Motorsport catless downpipe. So a very solid setup, especially for a daily driving, reliable, conservative car. This is similar to the setup I'm going to be running, except obviously I have meth on my car, and it sounds like he is also going to be doing a meth setup. So we're going to get into a little dyno pull for you guys here. Should be interesting, show you kind of where we're at with power, and then it sounds like we're going to go for a ride. So we just finished up the dyno run with John and Denny over here, and here are the numbers. So before we jump into it, we want to talk a little bit about the numbers that we see here. One is going to be a stock baseline run. One is going to be a stock turbo 93 octane with just the catless downpipe run. And then one is going to be the current setup, which is full bolt-ons, PURE800 on 93 octane.
Right.
John, what would you like to comment on with all of these numbers and basically the way that you see the graphs? Like, what are the things that we should point out for everyone?
I guess basically the comparison data is what's really important here, and obviously to show off what a different size turbo does in comparison. So for Supra owners that have stock turbo and bone stock, this is basically the numbers and the lines that you see. This was another customer car. He made 337 at the wheels and roughly 408 torque. And that was just baseline numbers on 93 octane. Denny's car is the green line when it was completely stock with just our downpipe, and obviously MHD stage 2 93 octane tune. So performance flash plus catless downpipe. The green numbers are what you're seeing, 439 wheel and about 488 torque. So pretty significant gain from completely stock numbers to just a downpipe and a tune on 93. And then he decided he wanted to go with the PURE800 turbo upgrade, so that was installed along with upgraded exhaust and intake and charge pipe. So those are the basic bolt-on upgrades that are on the car now, plus the PURE800. And again, this is custom MHD tuned on 93 octane. So it's really good data because we're using all the same fuel and just upgrading the turbo basically with some bolt-on modifications for a little bit additional flow. But what it really shows off is just how much more power a larger turbo makes, especially in the top end, where you're limited to about this amount of power in the 439, 440 range to the wheels with the stock turbo. With the upgraded PURE800 turbo, we're at 516 wheel. And while the peak numbers, again, like we discussed, may not be as major of a jump, which they still are, the beauty is, look at 6,500 RPM. I mean, you're at 428 wheel horsepower versus 511. And that is a pretty significant jump in power. And you can feel all this throughout the whole entire RPM range. And that turbo literally picks up power and is overwhelming even the stock one by, 3,100, 3,200 RPM. So, and it doesn't have quite the jump that the stock turbo does here. So spool is a little bit slower, but drivability, if anybody has driven one of these before, knows how jumpy the Supra can be because the torque is literally instant when you drop the hammer. This helps smooth that out just a little bit, but still not much of a difference in spool. And you could see the dyno runs for Mike's was actually even in 90-degree temps.
Hotter,
so the spool differential is going to be even greater.
Yeah, I feel like it's much more smooth with the 800. I feel like the 800 fits these cars much better. So we have a couple of Supras here at the shop. The orange one out there is basically everything that he has, but also meth, right?
Right.
And so we wanted to show you guys kind of what happens when you put meth on top of this exact application that we have here. It's really impressive. So John, why don't you bring up the meth chart for us? All right, so here we have the exact same setup that we have here on Denny's car, but we now have meth on the car, and you can see it made 601 and 620 torque, which is insane with basically just adding a meth kit to the car.
So this is a Snow Performance meth kit. It's also Titan bracket, custom kind of kit that we did, and it's also the braided line kit. So it's got the dash 4 braided lines. It's a dual jet setup, and we decided to go with about a 70-30, 80-20 mix for the meth, just because this car definitely likes to have a little bit more of the meth versus a straight up 50-50 mix. But overall, once we did that, the car really made power and was really happy. And this is still a conservative tune because this is going to be a daily driven street car. So we probably could have pushed it a little bit more, but we kept it on the safe side. Again, this is custom MHD tuned for those of you interested in being able to make that kind of power if you run MHD on the car. We've been working with the PureBoost guys in Germany, and a lot of the issues that we ran into with torque limitations have been overcome. A lot of street testing, a lot of dyno testing.
Is this pump gas?
This is 93 octane plus the meth injection, yeah. So you can still use 93. So all of these are 93 octane tunes. And the final one is by adding meth injection. You can see how much more power there is to have. And that again is with, you know, the PURE800 turbo.
If someone has a stock Supra and they want 600 horsepower, can they just bring their car here and you can just handle all that for them?
Of course.
There you go. Turnkey solution.
Bring it in, we install everything, tune it, and out the door, ready for you.
Out the door with 600 to the wheel. Denny, you haven't even driven this car yet.
I have not.
Like, we're looking at these numbers, and
Well, if they've been following the journey, it started with a turbo, and more parts just kept coming to CES.
Yeah, we don't know why. We don't know why. They just kept showing up.
Yes, they just kept going and going, and so the car's been here for a bit. But I am stoked to get this thing on the road.
Yeah, dude. We're actually. Yeah. I'm gonna go for a ride with him in the car, and I think we're gonna get a little bit of a reaction.
Yeah.
Driving this car because he hasn't. When was the last time you drove it?
Probably early to mid December.
And it had how much horsepower? 430?
That was just a downpipe and tune, yeah.
So, you might feel something different.
It might have a little more power.
A little bit.
Cool. Well, if you guys need anything done, I'm gonna leave CES's information down below. Performance, tuning, dyno, anything you need on your BMW or your Supra. Make sure you hit them up. These are the guys, man. And I think now it's time to go for a ride in Denny's car. It's gonna be good. Everyone grabbing photos of this moment. Got a couple of Supras here, man. Running the TEs on this one. This guy, the orange one. We're making a video on this orange one, by the way. He's got 20-inch BBSs with ginormo AP big brake kit. Had a lot of people in my other video talk about how I should change the color of the calipers. I actually want to do a big brake kit. I'd rather do that than just paint the calipers. So in terms of color, I mean, I don't hate the red. I don't think it looks terrible, but I don't think it looks too great. So we'll see what I end up with. But ideally, I'd like to do a big brake kit on the car. I think that's the best way to go. And then we got Mr. D Prime, who has, he actually powder coated his brakes black, which I think look really good. And then he has the BC forged wheels as well, which look crazy sick. So it's cool to see them both right here.
Man, I have not been in this car.
It's been a while.
It's been like a month
and you have a little bit more horsepower.
Almost 2 months, yeah. Probably more like 2 months.
Feel good to be back in it?
It does. Dude, that's insane. Thank God that was not a cop.
I thought that was a cop too.
I was like, oh my God.
The way that power graph shows how it's more linear,
yeah,
you can really feel that.
It's more usable, because before you'd floor it and you just weren't going
anywhere. Yeah, the stock turbo is very punchy, but this has more of a gradual, hard pull to it that, kind of gets intense when you get up there.
I mean, we hit that 3,000 RPM, and I was just like...
We thought for sure that was a cop. I was like, oh, shit. Wow, it feels really good, though.
I think we're in Mexico.
This car feels amazing. Dude, I can't wait to do Pure. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
And the sound, the way it sounds, the spool it's like a jet.
I mean, and you know what the exhaust is going to sound like, because it'll be the same on our cars.
Yeah, the exhaust sounds really good.
Dude, that's insane. feels so smooth.
It pulls really hard. Rips, dude. I'm excited for you, man. This thing's.
It sounds so good.
Damn.
This freaking entrance, though.
I love it, dude. The B58
Ugh.
in this car with that Valvetronic is like the move.
Yeah, well, I mean, we talked about it when they came out with the Supra with the
Yeah.
B58. We're like, eh,
Yeah.
but we're Beamer guys, so
Dude.
I'm like, this is perfect.
Right in our wheelhouse.
And
Man.
the B58's a great motor.
Yeah, it really is. So you happy with it?
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it,
dude. I think it sounds so good.
It does.
All right, so there you guys have it. That is the PURE800 on the A90 Supra on Denny's car. This thing, whew, it's a monster, man.
That was fun.
Yeah, thanks for taking me out, dude. I
Yeah,
appreciate it.
absolutely.
And of course,
Thanks for
always
everything.
thank you to the guys here at CES. If you need anything done, hit them up. Look at this like iconic shot that we have with all the Z4s, the Supras. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching the video. Appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.